10 topics which is mentioned in Bhagavatam. In the Bhagavad Gita, there is one verse called Yanisha Sarvabhutanam Tasyam Jagrati Samyami. Actually, those who are spiritualists, meaning those who wanted to get God in life, the spiritualists, their practices and understanding is opposite to the understanding of outside world. In the last class also, Krishna Prabhupada explained that where the Narada Muni in his previous life, he considered Krishna taking away his mother as a blessings. So in a normal understanding, it's very difficult to accept such kind of things. But in the spiritual understanding, as per the Bhagavata philosophy and understanding, yes, ultimately we should all depend on Krishna. We should all, our goals, our life's goal is to get detached from this material entanglement and suffering and miseries, get attached to the Lord. That is our purpose of life. So there is one story, you would have heard this earlier. Once husband and wife were traveling. Earlier days, they were traveling by walking. They were walking along with one donkey. So they're carrying donkey and both of them are walking along with the donkey. As they passed across one village, some people looked at them and laughed at them. What a foolish people! That donkey has the ability to carry somebody on its back. But these people are not using the donkey, just walking with donkey. What a foolish people they are. They got insulted. So next, immediately they climbed on the donkey. So both husband and wife sat on the donkey and donkey started walking. They come to the next village. In the next village, people looked at them again, laughed at them. And they also commented, poor donkey. How can these people are so merciless on the donkey? Can't they walk? Why they have to both sit on that donkey, poor fellow? So again they got insulted. They thought, okay, let one person sit. So husband said, wife, you sit, I'll walk down. He was walking down and wife was sitting on the donkey. They came to the next village. The next village they commented and laughed. He is an henpecked husband, you see. He simply makes his wife sit and he is walking. He looks like he's been controlled by wife so badly in life. Like that they passed a comment. It hurt the wife. So next she got down, she said, no, you sit. I don't want to hear such comment from people. Then husband sat and wife started walking. So now the next village they commented, how merciless husband he is. The man has more energy. He must have walked, he is making his wife walk. So now what to do? All the combinations they tried. And every combination people had some comment. Then they picked up the donkey and carried. So this story says the world is like that. Whatever we do, there is certain comments from the people around us. It might be our colleagues, relatives, anybody. Therefore, what should we do then? They tried so many things, different permutations and combinations to use the donkey in various ways. We have a very simple process, very good clarity in our life, what we should do. In our life, we must follow Guru Sadhu Shastra. Shastra, the scripture is highest. We should follow what scripture says. The scripture says that I must chant Hare Krishna mantra. Scripture says that I should read Bhagavatam. Scripture says that I must get detached to the material world. So everything we do as per the scriptures. We don't do by our own interpretations. So that is what the Guru is offering. Guru also does not deviate from the scriptures. Guru will offer what is there in the scriptures. Anything Guru speaks, he will quote from the Vedic scriptures. Purana says this, Veda says this, Bhagavad Gita says this. So like this, Guru will explain. You might have seen while reading Srila Prabhupada's books and hearing Prabhupada's lectures, he'll often quote some scripture. He will not tell by his own words. He will always quote from the scriptures. That's how the Guru referred to Shastra. What about sadhus? The sadhus must follow the Guru's instruction. So, Guru, Sadhu, Shastra. These are the three things guiding factor in our life. Let the whole world say whatever. There is no limit. Anything you do, there is people that are there to comment. People are there out to say something. We go with what scripture says, what Shastra says. We are in a very favorable situation today in our country. People are very much appreciating reading Bhagavad Gita, practicing spiritual life. And those of you out there, 20 years back, 30 years back, it was not like this. Reading Bhagavad Gita was considered very inferior. Taking up spiritual life, going to temples are not considered so great. None of the celebrities used to visit temples. None of the celebrities would talk about all these things. Now today, fortunately, from last 10 years, there's a lot of trend that big celebrities go for the opening of Ram temple and big celebrities talk about reading Bhagavad Gita. So in a very fortunate, good opportunities going on, we should all take this good time to practice the spiritual life. Okay. So now let us start today's discussion. I will share my screen. Hope you are able to see my screen. So let us start with the prayers. Please can unmute yourself. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Narayanam Namaskritya.
Narayanam Namaskritya.
Naram Chaiva Narottamam.
Naram Chaiva Narottamam.
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam.
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam.
Tato Jayamudirayet.
Tato Jayamudirayet.
Nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu.
Nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu.
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya.
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya.
Bhagavati Uttama Shloke
Bhagavati Uttama Shloke
Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki.
Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki.
So Narada's travel, meditation, vision of the Lord, which we are going to discuss about it. So having left towards north, Narada traveled towards north. I took this as a special mercy of the Lord, who always desires benefaction for his devotees. All of you can mute yourself. And so thinking, I started for the north. So he started, the 5 years old boy, he started north. Now what happened as he started walking towards north? That is what we are going to discuss in today's session. So now you can unmute yourself to chant this verse number 11. Pītāņjanapadaṁ
Pītāञ्जनपदांस्तत्र
Puragrama Vrajakaraन्
पुरग्रामव्रजाकरान्
Heta Kuruvata Vatischa
कीटकर्वटवाटिश्च
Heta Karvata Vatischa
कीटकर्वटवाटिश्च
Vanani Upavanani Cha.
वनानि उपवनानि च.
Please mute yourself. After my departure, I passed through many flourishing metropolises, towns, villages, animal farms, mines, agricultural lands, valleys, flower gardens, nursery gardens, and natural forests. Very beautiful, very interesting. And when he walked, and Narada is not talking about now, he is talking about the previous millennium. In a previous Manvantara. So I passed through many flourishing metropolises. There were metropolises, there were towns, there were villages, there were animal farms, there were mines, mining, agricultural lands, valleys, flower gardens, nursery gardens, natural forests. Srila Prabhupada brings forth very important point here. He says, you see, many times there are so many people out there in this world. They're working hard to understand from where the civilization has begun. They're doing archaeological study to understand how old is the civilization, when did the man start, when did the first man take birth, and they're going excavating and finding out the old civilization and the remnants of old civilizations and trying to read. Recently, one politician announced in Tamil Nadu, Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, he said, if anybody can read the script of Indus Valley civilization, I will give him the gift price of 10 crores. So they're trying to understand what is the old civilization. So in reality, there is no end for this. There'll be always new civilizations, always some old civilizations dying, again flourishing. The man will go on establishing towns and cities, and he will dig and make mines, and there'll be exploitation of the nature. Then again, all the civilization collapses. Again, another civilization starts. So Srila Prabhupada says, man's activity in agriculture, mining, farming, industries, gardening, etc. were all on the same scale as they are now. It was all happening. And when is this happened? This happened in some millions of years ago. Previous Manvantara, previous Brahma's day, when everything was dissolved in the previous Brahma's day, that time it was happening. So it will go on happening unlimited number of times. Therefore, Man should not waste his time in these things. So, very important message in this particular verse. Sometimes we become too busy with the topics like politics, sports, history, and various topics of this mundane world. Unfortunately, all that news we read, all that news we hear, nothing actually, it's not news. It is news, appears to be news. It's not news. News means something new. Nothing new. It's all happening again and again. You can take 50 years old newspaper, Times of India, of maybe 1975. 1975 Times of India, read the newspaper, the same kind of news you will find. The budget is, this year's budget is read out by the finance minister, and the opposition is not happy with the budget, and the ruling party says that this is the best budget which can help all the poor people. And then there is an accident, and bus and car accident, and some people have died. And then another page you will find uh, there is a cricket match happened. This team has scored this much, and there is an interesting, exciting match, and this is the best team in the world. And there's another page, you say there is some advertisement. They're looking for bride and bridegroom. Somebody is looking to rent their house. Somebody is looking to hire somebody. Somebody want a job. And somewhere, some people are saying there is a stage program. Some people are giving speech. No, we should all have good values, ethics, honesty. So you see all this news, what we see today in the newspaper, the same news was there 50 years back also. Nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. Only the names and dates have changed. And it is very easy for us now to understand 50 years back. But Srimad Bhagavatam here giving us an idea, it is not 50 years back. It is always existing, these kind of things in the material world. Metropolises, towns, villages, animal farms, mines, agricultural lands, valleys, flowers, it's always there. Somebody will possess the land, somebody will fight, somebody will defeat somebody. This is going on in the material world. There is no end for this. Then why all these things are happening? What is the purpose of my life? Am I also supposed to be one of them, fighting for property, fighting for the material and be part of this news and get illusioned about it? Sometimes become happy, sometimes become unhappy. I should also be part of it, or should I think beyond that? When you think, no, I don't know, I understood all this drama which is going on, big natak of the material world, the drama is going on. I want to look for something more than this. When you think like that, that is where the spiritual life begins. Then I understand this all drama which is going on. So I should now focus my time and energy in progressing in spiritual life. Once, when the chancellor of the Banaras Hindu University visited Prabhupada's spiritual master, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, in 1920s. When he visited, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur was publishing magazine every month, a magazine, a spiritual magazine, and it had a lot of pages. Then he asked a question: what is there to publish so much about this spiritual matter? What is that? This thick book you're writing every month after month you're producing. What is that so much to say? Then Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur said, in the entire creation, material world is 1/4 of the creation. In the 1/4 of the 3/4 is the spiritual world. 1/4 of the material creation, there are innumerable number of universes, just like mustard seed in a bag of mustard seeds. One mustard seed from the bag of mustard seeds. There's like so many mustard seeds. That is one universe. In one universe, there are many, many planets. In those, we are in one planet called Earth. In that planet, there are so many countries we have divided. In that, we are in a country called Bharat Desha, India. In that country, we are in a small state in West Bengal, we are sitting. And every day you have big newspapers published with the multiple pages, thick newspaper you are printing on this is a small tract of land, what is happening in this world. If this much is there about this a small place, then imagine how much must be there about the bigger world, spiritual world. Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur said, why once a while I can publish every minute one magazine. Every minute one magazine about the spiritual news I can submit. That is an Acharya's vision. How there's so much to know about ourselves, so much to know about God, so much to know about Krishna, Krishna's activities, pastimes, about the spiritual world. There is so much to do. So one should not waste his time in the mundane topic. So the Prabhupada writes, the mundane wranglers waste time with the archaeological excavation without searching into the vital necessities of life. Narada Muni, even though a mere child, did not waste time for a single moment with economic development. Although he passed towns and villages, mines and industries, he continually went on to the progressive spiritual emancipation. Srimad Bhagavatam is the repetition of the history which happened some hundreds of millions of years ago. As it is said herein, only the most important factors of history are picked up to be recorded in this transcendental literature. So Narada Muni did not waste his time. He just walked for the spiritual realization. So this is a learning that how much importance I should give for the outside subject matter. So first application from this verse is that I should prioritize. Suppose my work outside requires to know something about what is happening outside, it's all right. But how much I should do, I should know. Should I read a newspaper and news 1 hour in a day, half an hour in a day, 10 minutes in a day, 3 minutes in a day? That you should decide. How much time I should spend. Huh? Not that keep on looking for so much of material news after news because you have nothing else to do. That means we have not understood the value of the human form of life. So now we go to the next verse. Please unmute yourself. Chitradhatu vichitradrin
Chitradadu Vijitradin
Ibha bhagna bhujadruman
Iba Bhagna Bhujatman
Jalashayan chiva jalan
Ashayan Shivajalan
Nalinihi surasevitaha.
Nalinihi Surasevitaha
Please mute yourself. So I passed through. So where and all the Narada Muni has gone. Sorry. I passed through hills and mountains full of reservoirs of various minerals like gold, silver, and copper. So he went through the reservoir of minerals, gold, silver, through the tracts of land which reservoirs of the water filled with the beautiful lotus flowers, Nalini. Nalini means lotus flower, fit for the denizens of heaven, decorated with the bewildered bees and singing birds. He walked through very beautiful places. He saw the gold mineral also. He saw silver, he got copper, but he was not attracted to those things. That is a qualification. The qualification is that the gold has come, but he's not attracted to the gold because he's looking for Krishna, who is more valuable than all these things. Gold, silver, and all is nothing. And the Lord one can get. So he went on searching. So he did not give attention to these things. And he walked in all these places. Okay, next verse. Please repeat. Unmute yourself. Nalavenu Sharastamba
Nalavenu
Naravenu
Sharastamba
Sharastamba
Chaki Chaka
Ushaki Chakavaran
Chakagauvaran
Eka Evati Yato Aham
Eka
Eka
Evati
Evati
Yato
To
Aham
Aham
Adraksham Vipinam Mahat
Adraksham Vipinam
Adraksham Vipinam
Mahat
Mahat
Puram Pratibhayakaram
Ghoram
Ghoram
Pratibhayakaram
Pratibhayakaram
Loka Shivajiram
Yavoloka Shivajiram
Loka Shivajiram.
Vyaloloka
Yavoloka
Shivajiram
Shivajiram
Mute yourself. I then passed alone through many forests of rushes, bamboo, reeds, sharp grass, weeds, and caves, which were very difficult to go through alone. I visited deep and dark, dangerously fearful forest, which were the playyards of snakes, owls, and jackals. So, very nice learning again in this particular verse. How the Narada Rishi, Narada Muni, though he was just 5 years old boy, when he was walking through these places, rushes, bamboo, reeds, sharp grass, weeds, caves, difficult places where alone one can go, deep, dark, dangerously fearful forests, which were the play yards of snakes, owls, and jackals. And he went through all these things alone, fearlessly. He was not fearful because he was depending on Lord. If you know, in the Bhagavad Gita also, one quality, divine quality, the divine quality is Abhayam. Abhayam Sattva Samshuddhihi. There is a verse in Bhagavad Gita. Abhayam means no fear. So how he became so fearless? His 5 years old boy must be very fearful if he sees a snakes or owls or jackals, dark, dense forest. Why? Because he was simply meditating on the Supreme Lord. How he received such kind of consciousness? By the blessings of great sages. When he served them in the ashrama, so he received blessings from them. He also heard Srimad Bhagavatam, Krishna's pastimes from them during the 4 months of Chaturmasya. Because of their blessings, he was simply meditating upon the Supreme Lord. He was completely depending on Krishna. This is called actual sannyasa. The sannyasi is not supposed to be fearful of anything. And any situation, any circumstances, the sannyasi is supposed to completely depend on Krishna. The good happens, that also will be delivered by the Lord. Bad happens, that is also delivered by the Lord. Complete dependence, utter dependence. Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam praja. In this consciousness, he was going. Now, we may not be in that consciousness because we are not attained that level of attachment for Krishna. Bhakti parishanubhava virakti anyatra syat. It is said. Bhakti parishanubhava virakti anyatra syat. Actually, the detachment to this world does not come artificially. When bhakti develops, bhakti parishanubhava, when bhakti enters in your life, the detachment for the material, temporary, miserable material world automatically takes place in one's heart. Virakti anyatra syat. So, since we have not developed so much of attachment for Krishna, so we may not be able to have this level of dependency on Krishna. But in this particular message, Srimad Bhagavatam is telling us we must learn and educate ourselves. We must actually train ourselves to depend on Krishna in all our stages of life. As a devotee of Krishna, we should be happy in what Krishna has given us in our situation of life. Never be unhappy in your life. Never compare yourself with anybody in your life. Be very, very happy and satisfied. When you're happy and satisfied in your life, then you can appreciate and develop more attachment for Krishna. If I am unhappy, if I am very disturbed, I cannot chant Hare Krishna properly. I cannot render devotional service properly. I cannot even read Srimad Bhagavatam properly because I am very much disturbed. You see, we are discussing Srimad Bhagavatam every week, isn't it? And since many people are too busy in the materialistic life, they don't get time. Once a week, 1 hour, come and discuss what I can learn from Bhagavatam and implement. Because mind is very much disturbed in Kali Yuga. In 1 week time, everything we forget. And again bring back the mind, no, I should attend Bhagavatam, becomes very difficult. And this is what we see in our practically in our life. Therefore, first of all, try to be satisfied with whatever Krishna has given in your life. You are a devotee of Krishna. Whatever Krishna has given in your life, completely be happy. With that state of mind, chant Hare Krishna, develop attachment for Krishna. This way, you can develop dependency on Krishna. I depend on Krishna. Otherwise, depending on Krishna will be a farce. I depend on Krishna, but if I see even after I depending on Krishna, some more negative things, adverse things happen in life, I get doubt. Where is Krishna? I get doubt on the process of Krishna consciousness. For that is therefore, we have to develop proper attachment. Then dependency on Krishna is very natural to that. Bhakti parishan bhava virakti anyatra syat. We should not depend on anything else in this world. How this is 5 years old boy, Narada Rishi, he did not depend on anybody. He could have gone to his Gurukula sage and told, see, my mother has passed away now. Can you please give me some shelter? Can I stay here? Can I get some job? And he also gone through the metropolis and towns, and he saw gold mines and silver mines and copper mines and minerals. He could have settled somewhere materially depending on some so that he can get good shelter and clothing, good place. No, he was completely depending on Krishna. Nothing else is actually in this world is reliable. So this way, the Narada Muni was traveling. Now, one important point. When you talk about sannyasa, Prabhupada talks about it is the duty of a mendicant, Parivrajakacharya, to experience all varieties of God's creation by traveling alone through all the forest, hills, towns, villages, etc. To gain faith in God and strength of the mind as well as to enlighten the inhabitants with the message of God. What is the purpose the Parivrajakacharya is traveling all the places? There are 4 levels of sannyasa. Kutichaka, Bahudaka, Paramahamsa, Parivrajaka. Kutichaka means when he takes sannyasa, he makes a small hut near the village so that people come and deliver his requirements and he stays there. It leads a very simple life, whatever people give in that. Bahudaka means he goes and begs at different houses. Paramahamsa means he does not even beg, he simply takes only whatever God gives in his life. Parivrajakacharya means he travels all the places to benefit people. We say, Namo Om Vishnupadaya, Namo Om Jayom Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivrajakacharya Ashtottara Shata Shri Srimad Abhay Charanaраvinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Parivrajakacharya. We say Paramahamsa Parivrajakacharya. So he travels, and Srila Prabhupada traveled to America. He did not go to America to see the beauty of America. He did not go to America to have American dream and American life, which many people do, and they get deported back to India because they want to have materialistic American dream life. Prabhupada did not go there. Rather, Prabhupada went to America to help Americans to get peace and happiness and Krishna in their life. He carried. So for the benefit. So Parivrajakacharya travels all the places carrying the message of God, enlightening the inhabitants in all the places. And he takes all the risks. Sannyasi is a duty bound. Take these risks without fear. So that is a proper sannyasi. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also traveled through the Jharikanda forest, today called Jharkhand, and made all the animals like lions and rabbits and elephants and tigers, everybody get Krishna prema. They all dancing in Hare Krishna mantra. So he benefited all the creatures, even in the forest. So this is the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has set an example that what is the duty of a sannyasi. However, in the Kali Yuga, sannyasa is forbidden for ordinary man. So it's not actually supposed to be taken in Kali Yuga because the Kali Yuga sannyasa principles following is not possible, not allowed. We are in the very beginning of Kali Yuga, therefore some things are possible. As we advance, it is not possible. Even this much what we see. Okay, if you have an idea of foreign country, forget about sannyasa. For a vegetarian person to live in the foreign becomes very difficult. You don't get a vegetarian food also. Now, where will you get river? Where will you get fruits? Where will you get bhiksha? So there is no possibility to take sannyasa in Kali Yuga. So then what one should do in Kali Yuga? One should stop social intercourse, reduce his interaction with the material world. Should not do. I can do interaction more. I can increase the interaction with the material world if my intention is to help them to become Krishna conscious. I can go every day out and meet so many people, provided my idea of meeting people to help them to get Krishna in their life. Therefore, one should stop social intercourse completely and devote life exclusively to the service of the Lord. This is recommended in Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga, the kind of sannyasa which was there earlier, just walk to the north, stay in the Himalayas, this is not recommended in Kali Yuga. So many times that is why people lose respect for sadhus, because there are some people take sannyasa. In the name of sannyasa, they continue to do so many things. They continue to do sense enjoyment. They continue to smoke, continue to drink, and in the dress of sannyasi. Then you see what happens. The entire value system of Sanatana Dharma collapses. Therefore, scriptures are telling, don't take sannyasa in Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga, you become devotee of Krishna, and whole your life you keep as a devotee. How to serve Krishna should be your agenda. When you go out and meet with the socializing with people, also you are thinking, how can I get this person to do service to Krishna? This is when we do that, that is a real sannyasa in Kali Yuga. Otherwise, in Kali Yuga, these five things are prohibited. This is from the Brahma Vaivarta Purana, Krishna Janma Kanda 185.180. So what does it say? Brahma Vaivarta Purana says, Ashwamedham Gavalambham Sanyasam Palapaitrakam Devarena Sutotpattim Kalau Pancha Vivarchaye. Five things I should give up in Kali Yuga. In this age of Kali, five acts are forbidden. Offering the horse in sacrifices, Ashwamedham. Gavalambham, the cow offering, the offering of a cow in sacrifice. Acceptance of order of sannyasa, sannyasam. Ashwamedham, Gavalambam, sannyasam. Palapaitrakam, offering oblation of meat or flesh to the forefathers, meat eating is prohibited. And a man's begetting children in his brother's wife, Devarena Sutotpattim, just like Vedavyasa produced children in the womb of Amba and Ambalika, they are the Dhritarashtra and Pandu, and also Vidura in the maid servant. Though their husband, Ambalika's husband, was Vichitra Virya, so he was not able to have children. So his brother was called by their mother, Satyavati. So this was allowed in previous age. Now the man's begetting children in his brother's wife is prohibited. So the five things are Ashwamedham, Gavalambam, Sannyas. Kalau Pancha Vivarchayet. In Kali Yuga, five things should be prohibited. So Prabhupada, that is why saying, then what should we do in Kali Yuga? Krishna has given a very simple process. Manmana bhava madbhakto madhyaji maam namaskuru. Chant Hare Krishna mantra wherever you are, whatever position you are in. Dedicate your time for Krishna's service. More and more develop devotion and attachment to Krishna. Don't do sinful activities. Associate with the devotees. Four regulative principles and associate devotees. If you do all these things, you can go back to home, back to Godhead, without taking sannyasa, without doing any of it. Doesn't matter whether you're a man or woman or Shudra or Brahmana. It doesn't matter. Kali Yuga, all this is immaterial. This is not, cannot be compared to other ages. That is the process, which is told by scriptures only. We are not manufacturing this. In this age, devotional service of hearing and repeating the holy glories of the Lord is strongly recommended. One who takes the vow of renunciation of family life need not to imitate the Parivrajaka like Narada or Lord Chaitanya, but may sit down at some holy place and devote his whole time and energy to hear and repeatedly chant the holy scriptures left by great acharyas like 6 Goswamis of Vrindavana. So now let us go to next verse. Please unmute yourself. परिश्रांत इंद्रियात्माहम्
परिश्रांत
इन्द्रियात्माहम्
परिश्रांतेन्द्रियात्माहम्
तेन्द्रियात्माहम्
हृत्परितो बुभुक्षितः
बुभुक्षितः
नात्वा पीत्वा हृदेनद्य
नात्वा पीत्वा हृदेनद्या
उपस्पृष्टो गतश्रमः.
गतश्रमः.
Now what happened to him? Thus traveling, I felt tired, both bodily and mentally, because he walked all the way for so long. I was both thirsty and hungry, so I took a bath in a river lake, also drank water. By contacting water, I got relief from my exhaustion. So he just sat down, traveling mendicant. He just, the Prakriti, the nature will supply everything. There's some fruits, there are some trees, shade, there is water. So need not to, these all are supplied by nature, like Prabhupada says. No, how uh, in this world there are so many creatures, elephants. Elephants eat quintals of food, 200 kg, 500 kg food. So that is also supplied by the Lord. And the ant eats some grams or micrograms of food. That is also supplied by the Lord. In the big jungles, there are so many elephants, the tigers and ants and millions of ants and so many deers and many creatures. All of them are sufficiently filled their stomach. No animal in the jungle is dying out of hunger. We should observe this. Prabhupada pointed out. There's no animal in the jungle uh, dying out of starvation. Everybody's stomach is filled. Lord has given that intelligence. You just keep a piece of sugar on your table. Very next moment, ants will come there. They come to know where is sugar. Lord has given that intelligence. Human being is so dull, he can't make out. But ants can come wherever you keep sweet, wherever you keep sugar, and they also know now they will now the ants will increase in the summer because they have to store food for rainy season. They know next rainy season is coming. They have to store the food for them. So every intelligence to fill their belly is given by Lord. For that, actually, we need not go to school. We think by going to school, I learn how to earn my livelihood. This is a wrong conception. Earning livelihood was happening and all the animals also getting, and earlier before the school time also it was there. It is unnecessarily complicated, the manufactured system, where we think to earn livelihood I have to go to school. Recently somebody told, now that toddlers are sent to school when they're 2 years or 3 years old. I think children start walking from the age of 1 or 1.5. I don't know, mothers can tell. I don't remember. And if children are sent even more early to school, and if the teacher in the school teaches how to walk, or holds the child's hand for another 20, 30 years or 50 years, the next generation will think, you want to learn walking, one has to go to school. Very nicely, somebody told, very good thought somebody gave. If you start sending the children who are yet to start walking to school, for another 30 years, the 30 years later generation will think, you want to start learning how to walk, I have to send my child to school. Then mothers will be talking at home, I have to send my kid to school now. He has to learn walking. He has to learn walking. I have to send him to school. We'll be talking like that. So this is how we have become, blind to the God's creation. In the God's creation, everything is there. Elephant to ant, everybody get their food. It is unnecessarily complicated, and the humans, even after doing so much of circus and intelligence, they're dying out of starvation, not animals. And they're making animals also die out of starvation by their complicated civilization. So the Prakriti will supply everything. This boy, Narada Rishi, walked. He got tired. What did he get? He got a lake or river. He took bath there and drank water. And contacting water, I got relief from my all exhaustion. He felt so relieved from that. So this is another important lesson from Narada Rishi's life. We need to work so hard for filling our belly that Krishna will do. Krishna will give. Everything is there in the creation. So next verse, please unmute yourself. Tasmin nirmanuje aranye
तस्मिन्
निर्मनुजे
निर्मनुजे अरण्ये
palopastha ashritaha
पिपलोपस्थः
atmanatmanam atmastham
आत्मानम् आत्मस्थम्
yatha shrutam achintayan.
Yata Shrutam Chintayam.
Please mute. After that, under the shadow of the banyan tree, in an uninhabited forest, I began to meditate upon the super soul situated within Atmanatmanam Atmastham, using my intelligence as I had learned from the liberated souls. So, liberated souls have taught me how to do that because he heard from the great sages. So, like that, I started meditating on the Paramatma, Paramatma seated in my heart, and sitting under a banyan tree. Now, let us see what happens. He starts doing meditation. Please repeat. Dhyayatascharanam bhojam
Dhyayacharanam
Dhyayacharanam
Bhojam.
Bhavanirjita cetasa
Nirjita
Bhavanirjitachetasa
Chetasa.
Utkantyashu kalakshasya
Kantya
Utkantyashukalakshasya
Shukalakshasya.
Hrid asiname shanai harihi.
Mridu
Asimeshanai Hari.
Now there is a big, please mute yourself. Now there is a big transformation in his life. As soon as I began to meditate upon the lotus feet of the personality of Godhead with my mind, transformed in transcendental love, tears rolled down my eyes, and without delay, the personality of God, Sri Krishna, appeared on the lotus of my heart. So, as he said, he meditated on, he saw Krishna. As he got, he was overwhelmed with the emotions, so loving affection to the Lord because he reached that stage of bhava to Krishna. With this emotion to Krishna, as he saw Krishna, the tears glided down from his eyes. And as he experienced that, he saw the Supreme Personality of God, Sri Krishna, Paramatma, is coming in his heart. Shankha, Chakra, Gada, Padma, Vishnu is seated and being visible to him in his heart. He saw this. So then what happens after seeing this to him? That we will discuss in the next class. Very interesting thing we'll discuss. What happens after that? So today's class, since we are running out of time, we're ending here that he saw Krishna with the important learnings we had. Okay. What are the learnings we had? Number one, anybody can tell me what are the learnings from today's session? What are the application from today's session?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes.
First point, what I could understand was that we should not try to please anyone in this world, because no matter what you do, you will never be able to please people.
Yeah. Small correction, Mataji.
Yes.
Not saying not to please, I'm saying not to waste time in unnecessary interaction with the people. Maybe I can please somebody for the purpose of making that person devotee of the Lord.
Yes.
Nothing wrong. Also, I should please the devotees of the Lord so that I can make advancement in my spiritual life. Yes, continue.
Yes. So if we want to do anything, we should follow the Shastras through the spiritual master, because the master gives his directions through his guru.
Correct.
And the guru is always following the Shastras.
Yes. Very good. Very nice. Very nice, Mataji.
Thank you.
Yes. Anybody else want to say another learning?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Done with pranam.
Yes, Vikas.
Prabhuji, one thing that, as just now Mataji has told, that we have to follow Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra, and we should not be speculating anything. And second thing which I could learn, that 5 things which you told, which are banned in the Kali Yuga, So one is one among those five is Parivrajkacharya, means in the age of Kali Yuga, sannyasa is not allowed. So we have to be at our place wherever Krishna has made us made us, and we have to chant holy name of
Correct.
Lord.
Correct. Very good. Very good. Thank you. Anybody else wants to say another point? Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji.
Depend on Krishna in all stages of life. And
Depending on, he walked all the forest everywhere, snakes and this and that, but he was depending on Krishna always. Yes,
and never compare our life with anyone.
correct.
Be happy and satisfied. Then only we
Correct.
can develop attachment towards the Lord.
Correct. Very good. Okay. Then last point, what did we discuss?
That by doing all this, Naradji, finally, when he sat under the banyan tree,
Yeah.
he got the darshan of the Lord. And
Yes. One more point.
Mhm.
Krishna has created abundance for everybody.
Yes.
Everybody can have their food. Everything Lord has created.
Don't
So
work
we
hard to fill your belly. Krishna will
Yeah.
give you everything.
Krishna will give you. Work hard to become devotee of Krishna.
Mm.
Okay. So very nice. So good. These are the important learnings we had today from this Bhagavatam class. So we shall end here now. Thank you so much. So wonderful discussion. So let us end. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki.
Jai.
Shri Shri
Jai.
Krishna Balaram ki.
Jai.
Shri Shri
Jai.
Nitai
Jai.
Gauranga ki.
Jai.
Srila
Jai.
Prabhupada
Jai.
ki. Hare Krishna.
Jai.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you
Thank
so much. Dandavat Pranam, Prabhuji.
Dandavat.
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी।